Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Abomination by developer William James Dyce. This is a platformer, a fairly straightforward one at that, and one that just seemed kind of noteworthy based on a kind of unique control scheme. This is a game maker game, and let's look at the information real quick before we get started. Looks like it's actually been through a number of iterations in working toward a final build, and you can see there the date. It's actually back from 2010, so it's a little while ago now at this point, but it's been distributed recently as part of the Pirate Bay bundle, which is a big old bundle of indie games, a lot of which haven't really gotten their fair shake at being seen. And I'd like to do my part to help spread the word about some of them, so I'll be probably looking through a number of these in the days to come. I can't say that I'll necessarily be doing all of them because I believe there's like over 100 in that bundle, but I certainly want to see if I can grab some of the ones that look particularly interesting, and this one is in fact one of them. So why don't we start up level 1 and I will go over why I think this is kind of a neat game. So we play as this purple character named the Abomination. As you can see, he seems to be kind of hunched over and maybe has claws for arms. But this allows the Abomination to do some kind of unique platforming mechanics, such that the character can actually grab onto ledges, climb up walls, and do a bunch of other things. Some very strange beast-like jumps also can happen, and our character is in search of teddy bears from one level to the next. It's maybe a little bit nondescript as the environments are created, but I kind of get the image of maybe we're looking at something like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something in that sort of way. There seems to be some stained glass in the background. You'll have to pardon my ridiculous jumping around. The thing that the game tries to wean you off on in the very first few levels, and that's one of the reasons I think it's a kind of an exceptional game because of the difficulty curve and the learning that goes on. You find out that in a way this game is almost like a turn-based platformer, if that makes any sense. What I mean by that is it functions very similarly to something like the Prince of Persia game back from, I think it was 2008, the one with Elika specifically, where there's a lot of sort of parkour and non-traditional movement schemes that require you to think out rather carefully and precisely how you're going to input commands to make it through each area. Now, the thing about this game is you kind of have to learn how to read the landscape and then know what inputs are correct to be able to get through any of these particularly strange groups of tiles and corners. So in this case, what we need to learn right away is things that are sort of this brown-orange and sort of look a little bit like rocky mud. These we can't seem to grab and have any traction on. However, things that are more like solid terrain we actually can climb straight up because of our hook hands, or whatever we're saying they are. So in this case, we're actually not too worried about that. I just smacked the wall a little hard and had to smack and get up slowly. But we want to do a big old leap across that whole gap there, and that's how we solve that level. In this case, the game is now teaching us, and that's, I think, kind of one of the cool things. It's sort of like Super Meat Boy. You learn one level after another how to proceed through each one of these scenarios. Now this one, the obvious thing that feels right to do is to press right and jump at the same time to sort of shoot you off in that direction. But what took me a little bit longer than it probably should have is that you just press spacebar and you will do a leap directly off the wall in the opposite direction. So that's the one thing that seemed a little bit maybe unintuitive for me, and if the last level didn't cement that into your mind, this one certainly will, because you actually need to traverse left, right, left to make it up to the teddy bear goal in this case. I should mention the art style of this one, rather simplistic. It's not really, you know, super overdone or haughty or anything like that. It gets the job done, and the animations maybe are a little bit janky at times, but I don't really mind it too much. It sort of has this nice kind of homespun feel to it. Although I wish the animations maybe were a little bit smoother at times. Again, it's not too big of a deal or really all that distracting either. Most of the important ones are as smooth as they need to be, and the ones that are a little bit less smooth, like the, you know, climbing up and down on an edge like this, sort of takes me back a little bit to like a Prince of Persia style thing, so I'm going to say it's kind of more like a retro throwback in that case. There's also a very nice little particle effect too as you clamber along on the ground there. So in this case, we now need to learn that when we run up to one of these edges, you know, most players would think, well, maybe we would walk straight off of this, and all we're going to get if that's the case is an instant death. So we're not going to be able to, you know, finagle our way back over to the wall. We need to actually jump straight off the wall. So in this case, we slide down slowly, and also you can hold down to go a little bit faster, but I don't want to quite do that. And then we'll just jump back and forth to grab to the goal. I think there are a total of 25 levels in this one, and I played it for about, what was it, 15 minutes-ish, and I didn't actually get to the end. There are a few levels that get a bit challenging later on, and some of them sort of work around the concepts that you've learned and sort of try to subvert some of the information that you might have to make a slightly more difficult challenge out of things that seem like they would be kind of obvious. And I think that's kind of the hallmark of decent level design when you have... Oh, that almost killed me. When you have a level design that seems like you can read it, but then actually you need to be a little bit more careful with how you approach it, I think that's kind of a good way to go about things. And there we go. The more time you spend with this character, the more intuitive the controls feel, because at first I was starting to think, well, maybe there's something up with the controls, but no, it seems quite good, actually. It just needs a little bit of time, and then muscle memory will kick in. So I didn't realize at first that this wood is kind of giving you the visual hint that you can climb on the ceiling. The first time I got to this level, I was kind of a little bit confused, but it's actually fairly intuitive. And then again, sort of reminds me of that Prince of Persia style that you can climb on every surface, and it leads to some very unconventional level designs. I kind of like when you get into that kind of thing where you're walking across surfaces that you never would have expected to be on. So now we transition down, we slide across, and just a single spacebar hit for us to climb from one side to the other. Yeah, you can't run too fast, or you run straight into the wall and get knocked down. A nice little kicking get-up animation there, which works pretty well. Should mention also the music, kind of whimsical. It's not super creepy, and I think that's another direction this could have been taken in. This feels sort of classic, or classy, both maybe, and maybe a little bit on the, you know, sort of storybook style instead of where it could have gone, which is sort of like a monstrous character presentation. I kind of like it this way. I think it works better. So this is what I was thinking of more when I said non-traditional level design. In this case, we're actually going to be going under these, and I have to make sure I don't use down to get around that corner, because that does not actually work. We need to slide into a point, and then we hold right, and that'll trigger our character to traverse from a... Oh, no, that's not quite right. From a vertical to a horizontal, and then I need to remember to do it again on the other side and use up. So if I keep holding right, I'm just going to fall off. There we go. Did I need to... I might have needed to turn in the proper direction, otherwise things don't quite work out. I really like how everything is sort of a muted color, and then there's these little hits of bright in that stained glass in the background there. I think that kind of gives you a nice... Whoa! That almost... Oh, that did kill me. Did it? Yeah, it did. Gives you a nice thing to look at with the stained glass, and I kind of wish that the game took the character to other places, but I also grant, you know, Game Maker game, not super complex. But it was enough to grab my attention and make me want more, which is definitely a good thing. I kind of do like the way that this character works and the way that the mechanisms of your movement and traversal happen to be, so mission accomplished in that respect. You know, there's not really a lot of character or story development, I should say, really any, in this case, but you're led to come to your own conclusions by the nature of the character and how he or she seems to interact with the environment, and also the fact that there are teddy bears as your main goal. It started me sort of coming up with my own story, and I'd probably rather not share it with you because I'm sure you'll have your own. So let's jump carefully here. Now, how do I do this one? Do I just jump from this point? No, that totally hits the spikes. This may have been the level that I got stuck on, and then I wasn't sure what to do next. And this is what I meant by, like, it sort of subverts the knowledge that you have about the game. You get to this point and you feel like, well, this kind of makes a lot of sense. I can see exactly where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do, and I think what needs to happen... Well, that's not quite right. I think what needs to happen now is I need to climb down the left side of that top platform and then maybe jump over to the left from there, and that might give me some extra height. I will give that a shot on my next try. The amount of times that I tried this level before I actually was able to consistently get up to the top was quite numerous, and I have to say that's, again, a testament to the way the controls work, because now that I know what I'm doing a little bit better, everything seems a lot more natural. I think I need to face the other direction, or I'm not going to go down that properly. There we go. So jump. Oh, no, still directly into the spikes. So that begs the question, how am I going to traverse this properly? I'll give it one more shot and see if maybe there's just a way that I can get some more distance off of that top edge, because, I don't know, it seems like it's not really the right angle, the way that I'm going to approach it. I also thought maybe what if you jump off the wall from all the way over here, but that's not going to work either. What seems to be the case is maybe a run-up or something, but I don't really have room to do any kind of run-up. And if I jump from too high off the wall, I just land on the spikes again. What if I just... Oh, if I hold left and jump, you get a lot more distance. So that's what the key was there. Now, how do I do this? Did I... Oh, I've already gone down on the wrong side, but that's okay. I can climb back up over here. I need to... Oh, crap. Nope, we're fine. I thought that was going to spring me right off the bottom of the level. So you get to the top of it, you hit up again, and that's going to bring me up to the top. Hold left. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I didn't quite get enough traction there, so I guess that's a restart. Well, I guess this is as good a spot as any to wrap up Abomination. Definitely a cool little game. Totally free. If you want to check it out, link's going to be right in the description. You see if you can get through all 25 levels. And where are we? I wasn't actually keeping track. This is probably about halfway through or so. There is one new mechanic also that gets introduced a little bit further, and I only know that because I did a little bit of level skipping, which... oh! Grab the wall! Oh my goodness, I barely got that one. Now don't screw it up when we go underneath. The game's README is rather candid about how the levels are approached. There's actually some hotkeys that let you skip levels back and forth if you want. Oh, well, we actually just got to that mechanic right there, and these little magnets are going to allow us... Wow, alright, well, don't run straight into the walls, but they would normally allow us to climb up these surfaces that we wouldn't normally be allowed to climb up. And I guess they are scraps of metal, maybe? That's why I couldn't grab onto them. I think maybe I need to jump off of this side to be able to reach it. Well, my magnetism ran out. Anyway, yeah, go give Abomination a try. Let me know what you think about it. I am kind of curious because it's interesting to see sort of more like homespun... Oh, wow. Didn't reach. Style of platformers, and I do always like to find things that are a little bit... you know, unique in their own right, and I haven't seen a whole lot of games that really work just like this. It reminds me also a little bit of, like, what is it, They Bleed, I think is that the title? I'm sort of spacing out on it. Regardless, the game with the gothic girl with the claws for hands, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's got this same sort of gritty sense to it in a way. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to approach this, but I guess I'll leave that for you guys to figure out and just run into walls for a little bit. Anyway... Again, that'll do it for another day. Links in the description, other social media stuff's in the description if you want to find out more about me and my series. There are lots and lots of other things to go look at on my site, indie-impressions.com. Over 700 other episodes that I've done in the series, so if you want to see a new indie game every day, consider stopping by again tomorrow. I do a new one, like I said, every single day, so also consider subscribing if you're into it. Lots more to see, lots more to do. Weird games, that's kind of my specialty. So if you like that as well, well, this is the spot for you. So I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you again for watching, and hope you have a fantastic night. Talk to you later.